Of course, we've paired up with SteelSeries for this event. Use code Paladins20 on the SteelSeries website for 20% off any purchase. Some exclusions apply, of course, but some great quality gear over there at the SteelSeries store. And back here for the finals of your MSI, I'm Dolson. Joining me on the desk for the finals, of course, none other than Gormizer. The duo sticks together for the rest of the day. We've had a chance to calm down, catch our breaths, but Gore, Penta are in the finals.
Penta are in the finals, and they're up against a team that they have been, admittedly, again, scrimming against. NIP, Na'Vi, when they go back home, they can't scrim most of the teams that are over here, whether they've moved or if they're playing. So to help with ping issues, Penta, Sour team, they're the top two on the list. They're the ones that come through. And so the reason Penta's so good is the same reason NIP should be a little scared right now, honestly.
That's true. I mean, they steamrolled through Na'Vi, one of the other teams that they're used to scrimming. Could do the same to NIP. You have to be careful. I mean, this is an interesting dynamic in that it's one thing for a, quote, minor league team to make a run. You know, maybe you upset the first team you come up against, all of that. But they're going against not arguably, the best team in the world. They stand at 12-2 in the Premier League.
Yep.
And if Penta beat them convincingly, I don't know what you think. I mean, and I think Spud said it very well when we were talking to Virtus Pro. I mean, this is a minor league team in name only. They're playing like a Premier League team, but technically they are in the minor league. But the skill, the composure that they've shown this week, and hopefully into the finals is Premier League level.
It's just that moment of curse those technicalities, right, when it comes down to it. Like, I mean, Penta has been ridiculously good, and I think they're going to continue being ridiculously good. There were a couple of slip-ups during that last set, and I honestly think it's just specifically how they played. Like, Ice Mines, that was very, very convincingly Virtus Pro, right? Yeah. And so you have to look at those kinds of moments as, is that just a really bad map for you? Did you mess something up? And now's the time more than ever to learn from them or to ban it out and be like, you know what, we're not going to go there.
Gore, I have to ask. This is not a question I thought I was going to ask this week. How did NIP beat Penta?
That's actually, it's funny because based on the interview, they just gave, they were actually talking about the fact that NIP are incredibly flexible, that NIP are kind of random in some of the times what they pick, so you don't know how to lock them down. I feel like Penta has the same thing. Like, Simzo, if Maeve is banned out, he's like, cool, I'll play Pip. If Maeve and Pip get banned out, cool, I'll play Eevee. Like, they have that flexibility as well, so I think this is going to be a very elastic set between these two teams.
Well, they've had a little bit of downtime, but I'm sure they're feeling good. Just to see how they're feeling, let's send it down to one final interview for this MSI. Evan, standing by.
Well, we're in the NIP booth here getting ready for what will be the last game of the tournament, last set of the tournament, so to speak. Don't know how many games it will be. I'm standing by with Bird, and Bird, has been a journey for you guys. I mean, just some thoughts from you. We already have seen all the games so far, so we know a lot about the play, what's been going on, but what are your general thoughts going into this?
I mean, hopefully we're looking for a quick 4-0. I need to go back to the hotel and do some laundry, so that's the goal.
So, there's a little bit of levity in here. Still some laughing, not too serious, but I could tell focused, seems like, in the room. What's the experience watching Penta do what they've done? Are you, a little more nervous than when you first started? I mean, it seems like they have lived up to their potential.
I don't know about that. I feel like all the teams this week, across the board, even in our side of the bracket, have been underperforming a lot, except hopefully us. So I'm not too worried that they're living up to their quote-unquote potential, but we'll see with the set.
Well, there's a lot to unpack in all those statements, but the one thing it seems like is you guys are confident and, of course, ready to go ahead and do it. It'd be a tremendous way to end your season, which has been phenomenal. So good luck, man. Congratulations on getting here, and we'll see what happens. Let's send it back to the desk and get the final started.
I'm excited, feeling cool, calm, and collected, as always, is Bird down there in the interview booth. It's going to be a fun one, Gore. I mean, these are two teams who have ripped through the rest of the NIP, or the rest of the MSI, matches that they've had. Both of them, I guess, Penta dropped 2 maps, technically, one to Sour Team in the finals, and NIP have
only dropped
one because they 3-0'd and then 4-1 today. So, I mean, these the momentum, the aggression, the play style of these two teams, seemingly similar. Timbermill, Frozen Guard, off the table. Splitstone Quarry, Ascension Peak join them as well. Bright Marsh is where we're going to head for map number 1. Penta looked convincing on Bright Marsh up against Virtus Pro. And this actually is an interesting matchup because Bittner and Simsaloo both have such potent pips for the first time seemingly ever in this split, we're going to have a contested pip pick where it's you have to have an answer to Simsalu's pip, or you have to have an answer to the pip on the opposite side for NIP. It's a lot to look at. I would imagine that's going to be a key chess piece here in some of these pick ban phases. Traditionally the saying is, don't give NIP Torvald, but you got to be careful giving it to Penta as well.
Well, I'm going to throw it out there. 2 times so far since NIP has started playing, since they've only got the 2 sets. They've gone to Brightmarsh. They've gotten Torvald. And I don't know if there's, a correlation here, but they tend to win Brightmarsh right now. And I think that it might have something to do with this. I feel like, though, Penta, especially last set, they actually kind of showed us they are okay dealing with Torvald. It was that last game. It was a 4-3, and then there was a 4-1 earlier. Both times when Torvald was through. One time they showed you can stomp with it. One time they showed they can toe-to-toe with it.
Let's fight!
But Torvald, Pip, Ash. This is what NIP won.
But I don't know. It's hard on that. This is the most uncertain I think I've been on paper. I think we still have to give all of the advantage to NIP. It's honestly disrespectful in my eyes if you don't still have NIP as the favorite, because they've only been tested. There's sort of an asterisk on their second loss. Envy just played out of their minds in the one game that they beat NIP. But this has been the best team in the world in the PPL for so long. So yes, I agree. Torvald, Pip, Ash on the side of NIP, regardless of how well Penta have been playing, I still think is scary to go up against. But the answer with Genos, Cassie, Maeve. Maeve has kind of been that Pip counter from time and time again. Last time, though, was Fasheko, right, on Brightmarsh. Some of those evil mojos went a little wide.
And this is the biggest thing. When it comes down to it, first off, this Maeve has been insane. When you go back to Brightmarsh of last set, I think Penta have literally only done one step further forward, and that is Cassie coming in here. I think Arrays, last time on the Vivian, it was very much in that position. Occasionally you can get triple kills. With credit to Alex as the only person who's done this, normally you cannot carry as Vivian. He has done it in the past with that Annihilation.
That's
but
true.
Going on to the Cassie, I think is going to be a lot more comfortable for them.
Well, Penta's feeling good. NIP, they'll be feeling good as well. There's so much to unpack here, Gore. I think NIP have a draft that they'll be happy with. Torvald Bubbles mixed with Pip, Leon, Furia, the Inflame. That's a very aggressive, sudden go lineup that NIP love to play. Penta have a good draft on the opposite side. Put Erase on something he's comfortable with. Put Simsalu on the Maeve. He double kills every single fight. The Genos marks. There's so much to unpack. Do you think that it's an even draft here on the screen, or is one better than the other?
Honestly, it feels even. It feels like it's going to come down to mechanics, which is exactly the same thing it felt like in a lot of those Virtus Pro games. And Penta, right now they're on the hot streak.
Well, 3 days of competition. 4, technically, all come down to this one final matchup. You've got NIP, you've got Penta, and we've got our casters.
Thank you so much, Dave and Gore. It's here. One last round for the finals of this beautiful MSI, which has given us a treat in both underdog stories aplenty and the top team, NIP, doing what everyone expected them to do. We'll see who comes out on top, Nick, as it's game 1 on Brightmarsh to decide who gets the starting edge.
Oh, yeah. And I gotta admit, they're 5 good champions, but I don't know if they're necessarily very good together for Penta.
Sure.
When I look across the board, I see double point tank, but backed up by a Genos. And then I see, okay, well, this Luminary is going to be good for this backline, right? Not necessarily. I think the Torvald combination with this Leon is going to overcome it. You have burst healing from Pip to keep up with this character that's going to just look to rip them apart. And there's no one to make space for this Cassie or this Maeve. I don't know how Penta are going to get this one done.
Well, really smart play. That's what you can expect from both sides, and they'll be working these angles as best as possible. And Simsalu actually going to take that extra jump and just go over to the far side. He's now starting to get that soft surround going, which Kresnik was talking about, as Alex forced into 166 health and a little bit of a hole himself. He's going to get bailed out, but Tinner finds Simsy. Maybe got a little over-aggressive on that backside.
Oh man, and another Wombo combo comes through. This is going to fall apart slowly but surely for Penta. The way they bring this one back. I appreciate the effort, though. They did not go immediately to the point. They kind of recognized that NIP is going to walk all over us if we let them. So we saw a little bit of a stand taken by Barrick, but ultimately we didn't get to see it. I hope maybe there's a replay or something, but that solo kill from Tenor onto Simsalu is a big thing. Simsalu died a lot in that last set. He's going to have to be much cleaner if they stand a chance, if they want to stand a chance against NIP.
NIP already talking about how they wish this could be an easy 4-0. Bird's got to do some laundry. And there's some jokes to that. There's a little bit of trash talk to that. It's all insinuated in terms of their confidence coming into this matchup. And they should be. This is a team that, you know, is in a place that they've been before. A lot of these guys have been minor league guys, and they're in the PPL, and they're dominating. And they know what that means as far as World Championship Paladins. But Penta have made a historic run here, Nick, and it seems like there's still a chance. I don't know what it is. Hasn't really shown up here in Bright Marsh, but it just feels like their story isn't quite over yet.
Agreed. This just, again, it's not the draft. I'm not going to call it before it's over, but this is not the draft for me. They talked a lot about the draft specifically. I truly believe in my heart of hearts you are not going to outdraft NIP at any point in this set, so focus on getting what you want to get and putting something together that's good for you.
And that's the big key here as well. Array's doing a good job min-maxing, but the Inflame for Bird is really just to set the tone. And Crunt's going to have to go down here based on the pressure coming through from multiple members of NIP. The stagger will happen, but it will most likely just be a quick finish off for Penta, as now they have to get back as a group of 5. 1:11 left as the kind of final push upwards on that slope of Bright Marsh starts to be crested, as NIP with a Hyper Beam in hand could also try to find a bunch of creative ways to create some space and push this in.
Well, a minute left to do so. Ultimates to work with. Hyper Beam is lethal at this spot on Bright Marsh, and almost this spot alone. A big seismic crash to the backline kind of before the fight even gets started. Big defensive resources spent by Penta, and NIP are happy to take that L and get those 2 big ultimates out as well.
And that forces Bolko to the low ground, and he can't get back up to that high ground. That was a huge win, and Diggy Dog just created enough space on both sides. He just pushed them both out of the way and said, let's let this payload roll through. No kills needed there.
That's not good. That's 2 big frontline ultimates popped for Penta and NIP. I think they might have assert dominance. I don't even know. They might have used nothing.
It was literally just a kinetic burst and a shoulder bash.
And they get her done.
Value.
This is terrifying on basically all fronts except the ability to stand on the objective. NIP have outdrafted Penta to do everything better that they have hoped to do. And sometimes this doesn't work, right? This is part of that strategy of we stand on the point better than you is good.
Yeah.
Because you can draft around that, you can draft a high-octane, high-frag comp, but if you can't win that fight fast enough, then it doesn't matter. Enter Navi's, heart and soul. But NIP are absolutely the caliber of team that can win that fight fast enough and will win that fight fast enough. And again, it's Genos backing up the Sonara Barrack. They can't, it's not enough throughput.
No.
Wait, Diggy just walked in.
No, absolutely. And there's no reason not to. Simsy forced into the midnight. He's just trying to create some space. They have not been able to get over to that right side, and you can tell that's an Evil Mojo used, but I don't think it got anything. It might have been going towards Simsy, who's going to now reaggress. He's going to trade. That's a big one, and if he can stay alive and just keep the pressure of what Maeve can do on the table, this is good news for Penta.
Well, 58% to 27. There's a comeback mechanic in play and a glimmer of hope for Penta. Massive amounts of ultimates being spent by NIP right now. Dominance is coming up. Enlightenment's ready, but Alex doesn't even need it. Gotta beat a sweat on his brow as he grabs that kill. Might want to Enlightenment this, but Simsalo doesn't dive it.
And you have to say, the mobility, it's effective. Bird still taking down Arrays and doesn't lose much of his health. This Pip has been instrumental to NIP's storyline throughout this year, where being corrected by Beanie in the lobby, they went 12-2 and are nearly formidable based on anyone who shows up to them. Nice Enlightenment attempt, just not going to find the angle there. But
look at, he doesn't even back up. Alex is so confident in the bubbles he's getting. He digs his heels in and just, it was barely even moving. He just stares down Arrays in the open field, doesn't back him down, and NIP grabbed that payload.
But Nick, I like the fact that there's confidence on both sides in different ways. Array's willing to take that fight knowing he's been getting bubbled, but it's to no avail. NIP have just been so successful at creating the pace of this match. We're at less than 7 minutes, less than 6 whole minutes played, and they are staring at a potential 4-0 here. The first stabilization of what is the entire game finally occurring here for Penta.
I kind of like the story of Arrays versus Alex. Like two clean-cut European guys, play kind of the same characters, sort of the same stories, good-ass players, but never on the right team at the right time, and now both of them getting their time to shine. This is good stuff on so many fronts.
Yeah, I mean, you're so right. They have a lot of parallels. Maybe just Alex been kind of in this minor league to the pro league grind. He's almost just a few chapters ahead, or maybe a few books ahead if you're looking at a trilogy of the story. And it's really, really interesting to see those two battle it out. Will that be the difference maker? Still remaining to see what Arrays can do here on the Cassie. A big pick for them, but not finding as much success as Tenor or Alex individually in this matchup, but having a decent hold thus far.
Oh God, Tenor's starting to get a little stylistic.
These 360s are bad.
360 and wall jumping, rocket blasting himself off the walls. Has he bit off more than he can chew? No, sir. Hides for a second. Lets Alex clean it up. Up, down, Diggy Dog. Plants, stuns, one. Bird trying to get in there for the heal, but this is one hell of a take-back fight for NIP.
So efficient, too. I mean, the fact that he lands with 400 health, not a bit of health wasted before he had to hit that ground and buy 8 seconds. So he's really using his resources. It's just clinical. They are surgeons making the incise kind of cut into the hearts of Penta and fans around. This isn't it, but this is a bad sign if you're expecting a very competitive set. Things look really good for NIP to 4-0 here.
Well, it looks like they're hitting the gas pedal. Midnight's going to squelch this aggression for the time being. Penta have a lot defensively to burn. Seismic Crash to the back. He's getting stuns, and this time there's kills following.
I think he could fall here. He will. Excentra doing well. Nice. Beam from Bird. That is going to at least stun, even though it won't get a kill. He'll try to shut down Tenor. He'll take his own way out. He says, I am of this map. I will not go down by anybody's daggers but my own. And the defense will be successful. The first point in the finals for Penta.
And some stuff spent on both sides. You know, obviously, the Inflame means go. So I think that might have spooked Penta a little bit, and rightly so.
Yeah.
You lose the game, right? So, you know, no use saving your ultimates at that point. They pop a couple of things just to make sure they stay alive, keep this comeback mechanic. But again, not to, you know, toot my own horn, but it's kind of like, I don't know what this draft does at this point. They're getting bullied off the objective. They're getting bullied out of apartments. I don't see the win condition here for Penta. I am stumped. I don't know what they can do to beat NIP in a straight-up team fight.
How dare you try to take credit for good analysis, Nick? Don't you dare. Not after all these years. Just get out of here, man. At this point, stealing the thunder from me is Nick, and also from Penta as NIP as they continue to go forward to the best of their ability, but it's been no match for the juggernauts of Europe thus far. Evil Mojo for Tenor on the ready, and of course a Hyper Beam. Paired in with the Alons. Leon's Enlightenment, he actually hits it. Are you kidding me? Someone get rid of that AoE. Absolute ridiculous splash.
That's huge.
And he'll get the kills anyway.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
All right, Garrett. We got to have a talk.
We got to have a talk about that.
Oh, man. I mean, he was above it. Pip stuff is big, and these players are certainly talented, but
it's got to be bigger than Seismic Crash.
This is why you see some good mid-air accuracy on Pip. So his projectiles are colossal.
I do not think Seismic Crash would have hit in that area. If he threw it all the way to the ground, I don't think it would have stunned him up there.
That's a funny test.
Holy moly.
Right.
Alex here trying to clean it up. It should be, unless something crazy happens. Simsy does take down Bird. And that is huge. Crunchy here on the Dome Shield. The Hyper Beam's going to get him out of it. He should have a reset if he gets down to 30%. It'll happen now. We'll get around the corner. Diggy Dog is there to chase, though, and Bonker's low. You really need a damage dealer to really set this up. Even though they've got the Astral Mark coming through, Simsy goes down thanks to Alex on a 7 streak. Make it 8. The double and the win. NIP start off strong in the finals.
Both these teams already playing a set today. Both looking good. NIP made super quick work of their semifinal matchup. They are dialed in. They are looking ready and hungry for this win. There's a lot on the line for them. We've talked about these stories a lot throughout today. Tenor has had these good online seasons, or technically now it's a LAN season, but he's had the good season. It's the postseason where he struggled. Diggy's never cracked a final. Alex has never cracked a final. He's happy to qualify for a LAN after his stint with Mouse Sports.
I mean, Alex is just happy to be here, but he's earned this respect that I've given him, that Nick's given him, that the rest of the community has given him with how he has played and his flexibility and growth. We'll see if that continues to be the respect Penta gives them, because that was way too much if they're trying to win this championship. Let's send it back to the desk. Get ready for Game 2.
Game 1 in the books. Bright Marsh, so competitive for both of these teams throughout this tournament, but that's convincing in favor of NIP. These are two teams, Gore, that there's going to be a lot of overlapping picks. Not even just the Leon, not even just the Pip, but Torvald. Both teams have leaned into the Torvald compositions. Furia as well. Things on top of that. I mean, they are going to be trading picks in these drafts back and forth.
Well, I'm going to give it to NIP. Tic-tac-toe 3 in a row. Starting on Bright Marsh, getting the Torvald, getting the wins. They have everything they need with that. And I think every single set it's just been proof that, yes, some teams it's okay to let Torvald go through. Some teams it's not. NIP is just one of those teams you can't let it go through. This pip on the other side, or I guess with that Torvald more than anything, also was just causing a lot of havoc. I think Evan had said it very well at the beginning. Penta are going to have to play clean, but specifically Simsalou would have to play very clean. He goes 6-6 and 3, not negative, but it's not as positive as normal. Same thing goes for Arrays. The 4 and 9, that's where the big, I think, changes were. 7 and 3, 12 and 5 for Bittner and for Alex. They just showed up.
Well, you're trying to go clean against the cleanest team in the PPL. Alex at 12, 5, and 9. I mean, the Simsalou versus Bittner matchup is one to look at, but Alex and Erase as well, they go toe-to-toe in this matchup. And I kind of look at it, there's obviously much more at play, but for these direct damage dealers, just being able to match the pressure that the direct damage dealer on the opposing team is bringing is kind of my metric when I say matchup.
And I think
in this case, he does so well.
I would also say, like, making calls as well that you don't normally see, turning away from what might be a surefire kill to get aggressive to find another surefire kill, where it's just like, okay, that wasn't available. There's no reason he should know it's behind him. It showcases the communication behind the team. And then just gets double kills, triple kills, all the time. I think showcasing what we've seen earlier, which is Torvald and Leon, and just Leon in general, still pretty good no matter who plays it. Even if you're switching it between Alex and Bittner, no matter what, they have someone who's going to be able to pull it through.
I don't know if I've ever seen this much Torvald, much less in a week, but just in any given matchup. I mean, maybe one will sneak through, but both teams are seemingly okay with not only getting it themselves, of course you would be, but letting the other team get it. I wonder if that dynamic maybe starts to change where you realize that both teams are so good with Torvald at their back. Do you just start to ban it out? Bizarre is going to be map number 2 here. Bright Marsh goes the way 4-1 of NIP. Penta will look to strike back, and Bizarre is going to be their battleground.
I'm trying to think. I mean, Bizarre is that's one of the maps they did pick when it came down to trying to take down Na'Vi, but Penta lost it. And that's the interesting thing about it, is just it's one of those things where but Penta are able to control it. They're able to kind of win through, but they lost more, I want to say, on this map than any of their other maps so far. They had some good 4-3s, but like it's normally, I would say, very much like what we just saw with Nip. On your map pick this early on, especially to make a statement, you need it to go very heavily in your favor. And I think this, like historically in my mind, for some reason, I want to say this is one that NIP do struggle a little bit more on, but it's just a newer map.
All the teams just trying to find their way here on Bizarre. Remember, I mean, if you look back to the last matchup, Penta versus Virtus Pro, the one loss Penta had was convincing at the hands of Virtus Pro, and that tends to be the way it is in a lot of these games where one team will just blow out of the water one of the matchups, their one win in the set, and then Penta win the other 4. So now it's on NIP. I mean, they don't need to prove anything. They're the top of the league. They know that they're the best at the moment, but for Penta to prove that loss is a fluke. I mean, that's a clean sweep. It happened to us last set. That's all this was. Penta need to bounce back in convincing fashion, because as close as these two teams have been play style-wise, NIP, they don't have very many cracks in that armor, so Penta still need to play up a couple levels.
And I think that's the biggest thing. And very similar to, I want to say, day 1 when we first saw Penta, there were a lot of moments where you would see Simsalou make a mistake or something would go wrong for the team, but they'd still win the fight. They'd still follow through either through teamwork or just outplaying the other team. That's what NIP does to everyone. It's just mechanically they are so good and so solid that it's very difficult to take them down. So even when they do make a mistake, you have to exploit that to the maximum amount. And right now, I mean, Inara, Khan, Maldamba, Leon, it's just 4 solid picks that they would grab in literally any game.
I think it's also important to take away some of the very preferential picks for Penta. I mean, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I feel like Ash, Cassie, and Nara, through some of their wins earlier in the week, were like the core 3 that they would end up going to. So when your second pick against them, you need to take away at least one of those, because Exentra, and this time it's the Inara. Exentra is so comfortable on that champion. Brilliant performance against Na'Vi yesterday. So smart drafting here from NIP. Leon Evie go toe-to-toe with Cassie, Maeve, no Pip. Similar lineups, though. NIP made Bright Marshall look easy, but Bizarre haven't been bad on it.
Yeah.
But it's not been, a comfort map for them.
This is this area where when Penta played Na'Vi, like Mutu went Kinessa. They had a sniper, and that's honestly where a lot of the point fights they lost, or any fights they lost, were kind of oriented on, were just because of the fact that they couldn't keep up with the range. Now it's how well can you lock down an Eevee when she's moving around. Maeve versus Eevee is going to be big. Cassie, Leon's going to be big. And how each of those, I guess, kind of swap and fight for flank versus your main DPS stay.
Talk about upward mobility as well. Both teams have a little bit of it. And some of that comes into play when you're pushing through and you can't get through the gates. Normally there's just kind of one route that you have to go in. But Maeve, Eevee, both will be able to upend that wall. Game 2 about to get underway. Can NIP do it again, or did Penta answer back? Let's find out.
Thank you so much. It's time to get a little crazy as we head to Bazaar, the newest map in Paladins, to take Game 2. Here are the finals of the Paladins MSI. It is going to be an exciting one because it will be the telltale sign of whether Penta have a chance here or if NIP will continue their 4-0 style play.
It absolutely will be. This is not only their map selection, but this is a draft that stacks up eye to eye much better with NIP. Every single thing you look at on NIP, Penta have something to answer it. The Eevee has the Maeve, the Leon has the Cassie, the Ashe to the Khan, the Anar to the Barrack, the throughput of Damba to the Ying. It's all eye to eye. This is going to be a great game, or at least it should be, Evan.
Yeah.
If Penta are going to have a chance.
Well, we'll see. This is really where you have to test it. I really love the lineup of NIP on the board, though. They've gotten something so good for each one of their players, and specifically for the map. Inara has been very successful on this map of controlling that middle ground, and Simsy on the main has looked a little lackluster today when tested against Alex. And of course, Arrays needing to carry it on the Cassie. We'll see how much he can have an impact here, as a lot of these fights are poke and prod now, but Alex is getting low. See a couple of dangerous moments, and there he is, forcing the ice block. This could be it, but he's going to get some safety.
First blood, nice shot over the wall, but a lot of healing pours into Simslu to keep him standing.
Big time stuff. He went in, got a little bit of health. That was huge, and Alex now finds a big kill into Excentra. This is giving Tenor the green light, Nick. 57% for Penta, and IP losing in the battle on the objective, but they're winning in the man advantage, and they're going to use that to just push back a retreating squad.
I mean, you got to give credit to the supports when you can. That was 4 guys punching each other in the face for a minute and 40 seconds straight, and nobody died. Delicate dancing on both sides. Simslu misses the pounce. It will cost him his life, does get burned at the end of the day.
And Diggy's so good at buying time in these moments, but will he be able to buy enough time? He sets it up, but look at this. Bolka with a big kill. Diggy grabs Erasens with the help of Tenor, who is waiting for that counter punch. They've done it many times, but now it's just looking like it may be too late. Crunchy with a big kill, and he's not going to land. Bonker. Huge plays on the Inara. That might have just shifted everything.
Ultimates, man. Ultimates decide the first point fight. It's a 100% chance that if you get those ults off, you're going to win. No slither, stun has to be there, but it's not.
But he still is buying time, and he just needs to not die, make sure overtime ticks away. He doesn't even have to touch point. He can just fully retreat, and now they have the assert dominance. That's the problem with this. There's no way to stop him from doing it unless an overpower, which has been used. Ice Storm here trying to maybe cripple beforehand, but it's not going to work, and now NIP are in trouble.
Well, nice positioning here from Bonker, just to stay as safe as he can behind this statue. Throws up the wall so we can stay on the point, but out of harm's way.
And this is a couple of big shots because it's going to force Tenor off. And they're going to go for it here, Nick. They do like what they see, and why wouldn't you? They need to hit the shot, though. Crunchy comes up big, crunching down on NIP. It's going to be Penta looking to take this point, but it's not quite over. Tenor could dash on.
Overtime resetting. It's really just the reset conga line at this point. There's no front
nice
line for NIP. In and out they go. Tenor's dead. Alex is dead. Penta have done it, man. This is a straight up even footing team fight that they just beat NIP in.
3 minutes, 40 seconds gone by. It's about 3 minutes of play in the first round. It doesn't get much longer than that. It's not quite possible. Only Ascension Peak could have treated us with something a little bit more back and forth. But right now, this is a great start. You're seeing both teams kind of throwing huge hits at each other. But Erase, gotta mention him, man. He had some phenomenal moments that entire fight.
They kind of needed that one. I mean, this is a, it gets you motivated again. It gets you believing in yourselves.
Yeah.
It starts to kind of claw at NIP a little bit. Maybe starting to introduce some doubt into this. This was, again, a very, very straight up Even footing team fight. Nobody had a big ultimate advantage. Nobody had comeback mechanic. No funny business about it. Oh, just very impressed that Penta managed to get it done, and a lot of guys stepped up in a couple of different ways because NIP had some great moments in there, and still Penta overcame.
And you can see these little moments not quite going perfectly for Alex that would have changed everything. I mean, he's got the reload, he's got the reset, and the reset of the rocket boots all playing factors into why Barrick was able to get out and Accenture bought some more time to stay alive, and that's why they can hold this point without really falling. These shots are the ones that make the difference. 3 in a row. If he finishes off Tenor here by himself, that is huge for a raise.
This matters. You can see Tenor's been out of this fight. He's kind of scrambling around on the backside, waiting for that healing. It'll finally come.
Bye-bye.
But he's already feeling the pain of the big game here. Erase has played it all tournament long. He is in a rhythm.
I think you need Bird. Here he got it! Oh, Erase! Absolutely living up to the namesake here, erasing his opponents and doing it in style. It's 1-0 for Penta, trying to push here on Bazaar, but still 40 seconds left. Big front lines back in play, Nick.
I needed to hit that disengage. Won't have the big game damage amp here. K-Cruncy picks up Alex and gets the ultimate off. This is it. The disengage that could kill. It does actually hit Khan.
Yeah.
Has to be careful that this is the angle that Erase played to beat Na'Vi on this map.
It's still going to. That 6-second buff, man. It is so big. And look at that. A huge shot there. Doesn't need the bonus damage at all. He's missing a few easy ones, but it almost feels like this is already set in stone. Bird gets deleted up into the air and can't land for the second time in a matter of a minute. And Penta are up 2-0.
All well and good. Penta spent for that. Don't get it twisted. They're setting the pace of this game, but they are a little dry on resources now in this next round. NIP used nothing to defend there, so they will have everything and a comeback mechanic. Hopefully defend and get this one going. A great round from Cruncy, a great round from Erase. A lot of big moments. Alex hasn't played a ton of Eevee in this tournament either, so I'm wondering if he's not exactly in rhythm yet on this character.
Yeah, I think maybe that could be it. I think there's also, like we mentioned, not really his fault. It was the reload. It was some moments that just not going his way. It allowed Accenture to hold that position. It allowed Erase to come in and get some big shots, force Tenor out. That allowed space on a bonker, force him away. All those things were really just snowball effects from the initial fight and Barrick staying alive. So hard to see if he's really to blame for that, but that could be a problem. Cruncy forced out immediately, and they've got a counterattack here.
Wise, though. I mean, he really makes no fuss about it, just gets out when he doesn't like the situation, stays alive.
Good midnight.
The only ultimate from Penta. It's gone. That's it. Wall goes down. Crash goes out. This is it. NIP's time to strike.
Oh, great flick. Tenor finds the trace on a dashing Maeve, and that should do it. It's a dashing play for a dashing young man. Penta all wiped, and now it's NIP's turn to start capturing.
And they do have the comeback mechanic. Decent chunk, frankly. 42%. Nothing to scoff at for Penta.
They should get it.
This zone here, it's pretty aggressive. Overpower's ready. Think he might just snag the first person he sees to keep the man advantage. We'll have to see how they play this. Still
underneath.
Ice Storm. Overpower misses.
Underneath, though. Simsy, he's going to run away. No, it'll be a 4v5 no matter what. I think they'll touch. They will. It's a raise. Who might have gotten on? I'm not quite sure. It's actually Accentra, and that's the one you don't want to get on. And he takes a 1v1 with Bird. This is just a battle for time. If you can stay alive, you've won. You've essentially won. Big time somersault reset as well. This is huge. Penta, it's not over yet.
No, it definitely isn't. Accentra makes a huge play. This is the substitute. This is the guy filling
reset.
in the grand finals, making big moves. Simsaloo has to go off.
Bolka.
Everybody is showing up. Where is his name in the kill feed?
You need Bolka here. Just a little bit of damage. It's hit scan. It's going to help with Alex. Erase shows up, and that's all they needed, to be honest. He says, you just keep healing me, buddy. I'll carry you. Simsy is almost kind of distracting them. He's not really getting too much damage on the table, but he's doing enough, and things have shifted again towards Penta. That kill should seal it, and this should be their map going 3-0, heading into a potential 4-0.
Well, they do it on even footing in the first round, and now in the second round, Penta get it done against NIP in an uphill battle. Plenty of ultimates. They're fighting against the comeback mechanic. There's no more advantages you could have given NIP in that fight.
No.
Yet Penta still stand tall.
There's some dominant stuff right here. And honestly, let's take a look at the KDs, because I want to see how much. Oh my God, 11-2. Look at that.
If Sims picks it up, dude,
it's scary, man.
They're going to blow NIP out of the water.
Dude, he's 4-8. If he was just 6-2, you know what I mean? If he was just 8-8, like that's just crazy. But he's doing a great job of distracting. And on this map, it's true that the big game is the huge counter. I mean, look at them. They've got the Khan. They've got the Inara. Even against Bird, who's got, Maldama used to be a little tankier than he is now after the nerf, losing a little bit of health, but still, it's meaningful damage. And
it's true.
It's when Array shows up, man, if he just is as efficient as he can be, really doesn't matter what Simsy's doing.
I always try to be fair, talk about matchups, just how, we've had a lot of Leons pop off, but they have Torvald pockets. They're supposed to do that.
Right.
This isn't the best matchup for Simsilo fighting into Tenor, one of the best players in the world right now, on a not only hit scan, but auto aim for half the kit. I mean, for crying out loud, he was designed to smack these flanks out of the air. So Simsy, just go even. That's all I'd really ask.
This is his home turf. This is his bread and butter. That's all you need with your Grace and your Valor. But look at this. There's no Grace and hiding behind a wall. Bonker knows it. All he wants to do is survive, though. He's not asking for Grace. He's not asking for Medals of Honor. He's just asking to live, and he can't even get granted that one request, and neither can Diggy Dog. The payload is moving. It's feeling inevitable. It seems like Penta are going to push this, but they've got one more chance. And it seems like Grunty's not going to even let him touch.
They're going for it. Body block here. CC immunities pop by
Wow.
Bonker. Time is of the essence, my friend. Game 2 goes to Penta 4-0.
Now that's the kind of finals I want to cast.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Eccentric, what you saying? Who you pointing at?
I don't know.
Cameraman? Is that Vinny? Oh, just trying to get your attention over there. A lot of fun happening in the booths. I'm sure they're excited. This team is definitely playing off of momentum. They've been doing it all tournament long. The midseason invitational has been exciting, really because of this team. And there's been a lot of great stories, but it's truly Penta that's carried through all of it. And we've talked about these anime arcs. We've talked about Simsalou and what he's done. When you say he got kicked off a team, when you say he was blackballed, when you say all these things, this is the opponent that all started with. He was on NIP. This is where it began. They have confidence they can beat these guys. They know these guys. So for them to tie it up that convincingly, it's saying something's not adding up. The words aren't going with the actions here.
Yeah, the sure sign of a good set, taking each other's map picks, taking your map pick convincingly. That was a very eye-to-eye draft. Everything was even, and Penta just won.
Well, I cannot wait to hear what the boys on the desk have to say about this one. Let's send it back to them. Game 3 is on the way.
Well, your maps are split, and we're down to a best of 5. That's how the rest of this tournament has gone. The next one to win 3 is going to go on and become your MSI Grand Champions. What a way to fight back there from Penta. You get blown out of the water game number 1, and then you do the destroying there in game number 2 on Bazaar. And nobody from NIP. Bittner had a good amount of damage. He raised just a little bit more, though.
I mean, Simsy who? Arrays was guiding everything that game. There were a couple of good moments for the Mave there, but Arrays 12, 3, and 7. Eccentric, everyone save for Bolka, and maybe even Bolka a little bit. Bolka was close to where Simsalou's damage was. 6 and 9, he did well, but it was very much this Cassie's showcasing.
Yeah, wow.
And why Arrays cannot let you forget his name on this team.
Uraze and Crunty had really the only two convincing slash lines in this game. I mean, 7-7, 9-6-7 for Diggy Dog on the opposite side, but it's Uraze this time around that gets the better of the, I guess, technically direct damage dealers. I mean, I guess not really technically, given how Cassie works, but that's all besides the point. It's just the shots were good, and Evan and Nick were doing a good job of pointing this out in the game. It's such a rhythm-based champion, and Uraze was really just firing on that rhythm the entire game.
I mean, there's just so many things between these two teams that have been going either right or wrong, depending on which side you're looking at, and honestly, depending on which game you're looking at from these first two. Again, I'm looking towards this one, no Torvald for an IP. It's, 4-0 instead of the 4-1. I'm wondering if that's just how well Penta know Bazaar, or if that's what we can expect more. Game 3 is going to be very, very revealing. And when you have play like this, a guy, Arrays, who's been around the scene for a long time, I don't think has ever been able to break into the PPL, but has gotten all of this practice at this level. He is blowing up compared to what we kind of expected coming into this. I mean, the biggest things about these teams, you look at Simsalou, who's been very big at performing. You look at Bittner. These two, the last time Simsy won a LAN, they were on the same team for Virtus Pro. So playing against former teammates like that, having this kind of performance, you expect those two to be big. Erase was the silent guy coming into this.
He was, and it's rising up, especially in the games like that where Simsalou's having a bit of a tough time being able to rise up and fill some of the void that a lackluster, for lack of a better word, Simsalou is leaving on the game. Jaguar Falls, map number 3. Uraze will look to continue more of the same. This is a map where Pip does, I think, become a little bit more contested. Bittner loves Pip on this map, but so do Penta, so does Simsalud. so where does Pip fall, if at all, in this pick ban phase?
Honestly, I'd say early on, and I actually think this is great. This is literally game 1 bans all over again. Torvald if you want it, but like you said, Pip has been very big, and Penta were able to deal with Torvald, not this set, last set, a little bit, but it was difficult. On Jack Falls, he has the same amount of prowess that I'd say he has on Bright Marsh. Same reason Bomb King can get banned here is the same reason he'd be banned on Bright Marsh. CQC, it's close quarters combat. It's why blasters are important.
Oh, wow. Actually pick up 2 damage dealers. They know that if Pip were making it back to NIP for these next 2 picks, he would have been.
They would have lost the game. Like they might as well not even play it. That's a
that's
2-1 lead for
that's
NIP.
Homework. I mean, I think anyone would have figured that NIP were going that direction. Getting Leon as well, and those are the 2 champions I highlighted. Cassie was in the mix, but Pip and Leon that's going to be contested this entire set. Of course, that opens up the door for Ash for NIP, leaving Inara, and then I guess a Fernando over to the side of Penta, if that's what you have in mind. Not a bad chance. They've been okay with Fernando, to be honest with you. I mean, but then that puts some of the off tank role in a bit of an awkward spot. So there's some play there. But Torvald Ash Furia for NIP, still 2 damage dealers to go.
I wouldn't be surprised. This is either going to be maybe Damba Inara or maybe Genos Inara. Either way, you kind of leave that flex open. And I think the idea to leave the flex open smarter instead, like pick your point tank here, because now you can decide, do we want Inara Barrack or do we want
Barrack,
Inara Nando? Because if
Barrack,
you get, if they go Drogos here for
Barrack.
Bittner or for Alex, whoever really wants to play, probably Alex in that case, then you want that Immortal as the counter. If they don't go for the Drogos, you can grab the Barrack and still have an aggressive off-tank.
Well, Gore, it wasn't either. It was the Zen, interestingly enough. Alex has leaned into the Zen a little bit over the past few weeks, a champion that I would say he feels pretty comfortable with on right now. What are your eyes on, or what are your thoughts, I should say, on where Zin's at the moment? Does he work with this composition?
I think he not only works on this composition, I think this map facilitates it. This map, Jaguar Falls in general, facilitates flanks. Torvald facilitates flanks. And Zen on this map has always been good. In fact, when you couldn't get Cassie, when you couldn't get Leon, he was like the go-to. And we've seen it a couple times. I think we saw it a couple days ago as well. There are a couple measurements in my mind for where Zen can work. Alex hits those marks every single step of the way, so I expect this Zen to look good.
It's eerie how similar these drafts continue to be for both sides. If you covered up the top, I would say, NIP are drafting both teams right now. It looks like either team could be NIP. Penta obviously leaning in and understanding the meta that we're in right now. Pip goes the way of Penta. Torvald Zen goes the way of NIP. Whose lineup do you prefer here, Gore?
Honestly, I actually feel like I prefer Penta, and it's only just going to be a small shift in their favor. Sure. I think they just have a couple of champions that are good at dealing with Torvald here that, while it can get out of hand, and admittedly if NIP come out swinging for the fences immediately, it's probably going to go heavily in their favor. I think Penta, this is a 4-3 kind of win for them, right?
Sure.
This is a very stalwart, we're going to get there one day kind of win.
Well, that'd be the first contested game we had here in the grand finals. We're split up at 1 apiece, down to a best of 5. Game 3, let's get it underway.
What an exciting tale here as we've seen both teams come in with confidence and both teams get knocked back to their feet. It's time to have the stand-up game where they get back up and they see who will do the next bit of damage to one another. It's the Zen versus the Pip, the interesting Pip Leon first pick, taking away the Torvald options that we've seen this tournament.
I almost pulled my hair out when they didn't ban Pip, and I'm like, wow, they picked it. Thank God. I mean, so many teams at this point have just let NIP get this Pip on Jaguar Falls. And I really just feel that, Pip Leon, first 2 for Penta, you might be like, what the hell is that? But they're playing the drafts. They're playing the set that they're in right now, and I think they have the confidence to really pull this off.
Oh, look at this.
I really, truly think they do.
Look at this. They smell blood in the water. What a rotation. He still got the heal, but look at this. I think it's over. Oh, my God. What an efficient move by Simsy, and Arrays has cleaned it up. They forced Bittner from the right, forced him to the left. They saw Alex and Torvald rotating on that left side, and they made such a quick move. That was good.
I'm telling you what, man, when you see a Pip player It's just something different. Tenor right now is the only one using Pip's movement to the fullest extent of the law, but like we said, Simsaloo is an OG Pip player. He has played this character since its inception. He is a big, big time proponent. He knows how to do the movement right.
I mean, that should be that, right? A little body block, there's no way. Objective one going the way of Penta off of a smooth move. And some smooth operators on the side of Pip. Big double heal as well. Axe should be in trouble. Counter use. He's got to get help from Tenor, and Tenor is low, so he may need help from someone else. He gets the bubble, rolling, dodging, and it is enough. They will at least start a little defense here, although it's not much because it's a consolation prize. The point was already lost.
That was hectic, man. Let's talk about this Zen. I think Evil Eye's the only one I remember playing it so far in this event. And now it was a big staple of NIP and of Alex. He was an incredible Zen player. Nerfed hard, though, this season. Changed. Nobody really runs it anymore. And he was already niche-ish to begin with, so it's made it very difficult to fit him into a draft. He's not even the one that's getting the hard pocket here. It still seems like it's Tenor on the Cassie getting most of the Torvald love. So Alex, on this sort of gimped Zen, he really has to step up to the plate. We brought up Eevee's not something he's played a lot of this tournament. Zen certainly is not. He's got to get in a rhythm on some of these, wider breadth of characters, but it's always something we talked about that he brings. He needs to step up.
I think this is a bad decision by NIP. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, they're getting...
to stay in the back line like that?
I thought they should have just died and reset with their team. I feel like they're delaying the inevitable. They both died now, and now they've got 3, and then there's 10 seconds before both of them are back up.
And Inara's been pushing the whole time. Yeah. There's something to be said for that type of play if you're stalling if you're doing what you set out to do. If you're stalling the payload, but they really didn't.
No.
Inara went right past them to the objective, and the other 4 boys cleaned it up.
I think it's just confident, man, and I understand why they're confident. Why wouldn't you be? This is a team you're super familiar with. You've played a bunch. They're in the league below you. Why would you think that you don't have this one in the bag, bro? It's your game to lose. I understand it, but that play, I think they should have just given respect, respawned as 5, and tried to hold from a different choke. And look at this. Accentra with a double, Simsy with another. That Inara never stopped moving. She was on her morning walk. Not a damn thing was going to stop her.
Evan, I worry about the mindset of NIP. If they lose this game, that doubt that was planted on Bazaar now becomes a real manifestation that they have to worry about. Penta is drafting weird. They're doing different stuff that is not standard. They're playing the set that's in front of them. And that doubt, I'm worried about it eating away at Tenor specifically, man. He has choked so many finals, so many close calls to the finish line, but never across. Diggy's never been in this situation. Alex has never been to this situation. I'm looking at the veterans. I'm looking to Bird and Bonker to recenter this team.
Yeah.
Bird is the most calm, cool, and collected Zen guy I think I've ever met in my life.
Yep.
This is the time when you need a temperament like that. This is the time that you have to recenter your team.
And can we just, again, give some praise to Erase? He has been phenomenal. That's a good evil mojo, but it's not going to get a kill. So it's really not a great evil mojo from Simsy. But that Billow, that's the nerf that happened. Alex stays alive thanks to the heal from Bird, and Bird will back off. One thing that really set that up is that Enlightenment doesn't quite work out really was the fact that they were able to get around the corner. And if they can keep doing that, it will help them to a certain extent, but not if this keeps happening. Great wall just to isolate 1 out of the 2. If Accentra stays alive here, that is a big-time play.
I mean, that was Diggy Dog versus Crunchy there. I thought that was it. I thought Diggy stuns nearly 3 people in the back line. Tenor's trying to bring this one back. Bird's in a bad spot, but his team is there to bail him out.
He's trying to back off, and he can with the wall. Beautiful stuff. He's got to get a full heal there. Dread Serpent as well. That's so his, though. That's good. Penta able to really get the space and Hyper Beam here. Bonker's low, though. Whoa. Who can finish him off? Accentra went up and over.
Dude, that's actually going to be a long walk back for that Inara now. That was real. That was impact. It's not typical to see a Hyper Beam on Jaguar Falls do too much, especially at that angle, but that was good.
But
this
who cares?
Is good. Penta, they're just good.
They don't care. You got Hyper Beam, but you delayed the inevitable. Seismic Crash is even at the ready. One of the things we looked at was how this stagger happened between Diggy and Alex. Obviously, they're staying together. You see the pair of Tenor and Bonker working together on the Torvald and the ability for the Cassie actually to work. But when Bonker is here, he's not the point tank. Torvald can't hold this payload at all. That's why it kept moving. When Diggy died, it was 10 seconds before someone who had a health pool and a defensive mechanic at all to be able to stop this onslaught.
Wow, oh wow. Now it's 3-0 Penta. They're rocking and rolling, man. They have great ultimates. Let's look at the items. Is there enough resilience online?
Do they have enough credits? Barely.
Seismic Crash, Dread Serpents, Evil Mojos. This is a very closable game.
Get him. He got 2 there. Excentra on an 18 streak. Is this man about to go undying against NIP? Hold your horses. Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
They're
I don't have
hatching.
any more animals to reference in this metaphor, but it's looking like a 4-0 here from Penta, barring some significant circumstances.
The chickens, they are a hatching. The Dread Serpent, the body block is not quite there. Diggy Dog makes it to the payload, but a ravenous pack of wolves collapse on him the second he gets there.
Are you kidding me? Excentra! Don't let this man play Inara on Jaguar Falls. I thought you learned your lesson. Triple kill into the 4th. Penta go up against NIP, and they take game 3.
Oh my goodness gracious. 8 straight points. Penta, 4-0 Bazaar, 4-0 Jaguar Falls. The freight train is full steam ahead at this point, man. I don't know how they're doing it.
And this is really where you start to get worried for NIP if you're a fan of them and if you are them, because that little bit of, like you mentioned, that seed of doubt that was in their minds to begin with. Bird said, cool, calm, collected, nah, everyone's been underperforming. They're not doing great. In the back of his mind, he's got to be thinking, but what if everyone wasn't underperforming? What if they were doing great? We don't actually know because we haven't played them. Now you're starting to get some empirical evidence that it is not just everybody else.
This is wild. They're doing everything they need to be. I mean, the drafts are good. They're responding, like I said, exactly to the players sitting across from them. They're not worried about playing the meta. They are playing after NIP.
And don't let Excentra play Inara on Jaguar Falls. Learn your lesson. Learn your lesson.
That was faster than I thought it was going to be. I'll be honest.
Do we have a game just now?
I
watched.
If you blinked, you actually might have missed it.
What is going on, Goremizer? This is NIP. They just got 8-0'd if you look at the last 2 games. Forget throwing. I mean, Penta, I'm at a loss for words. Penta are playing like the best team in the world right now coming out of the minor league.
And it's one of those things like, that was against Torvald. And that was like with Torvald based on what you saw in Primarch earlier. Like that was where NIP made it look like. After that game, I'm sitting here thinking this is going to be a 4-0 and it's going to be boring. It's going to be bland. No one's going to like, it's going to be like, cool, you made this really awesome run. It has not been boring.
It was a 4-0.
Even though it has been 4-1, 4-0, 4-0. This has been ridiculous.
It's one of those where you just have to scratch your head and enjoy the ride as it's unfolding in front of us. I mean, damage numbers.
All heavily in favor of NIP.
Technically, yeah, in favor of NIP. 0-8 Bunker, 0-8 Diggy Dog, no kills from the front line, 2-3 assists respectively for the 2 of them. Excentra, 6-0-17. Erase, 11-3-12, 9-3-14 for... I mean, I'm going to stop myself because I'm going to read the entire stat sheet for Penta because they're all playing out of this world. Excentra, he did this on Leon against Na'Vi. He did this on Inara on Jaguar Falls against Na'Vi. He had that absurd wall play. But here as well, the seismic crash. Inch perfect erase there for the follow-up. This guy is good at Inara Gore.
Not only that, but I mean, you have to look at it this way. During the point fight for the second round, there were 2-3 times that he should have died.
Yep.
That either, and you can argue maybe someone on his team bailed him out, but he just kind of got away from NIP several times in a row, and then he'd re-engage, and then he'd cause a lot of trouble, maybe even get a kill. He'd get low. He'd be able to just walk away. And like there were so many moments where him standing like that was perfect for them. And the only reason he ever disappeared from that point fight was because of a hyper beam pushing him away. And even then, that didn't stop him. He came back.
Yeah, that's a tough game for NIP right there. Top to bottom controlled in the blaster matchup, controlled in the frontline matchup. And that almost makes you say, was the 4-1 from NIP a fluke? I mean, they had one clean loss in their last set.
That one's a hot take. I don't know if I want to touch this.
I know. That's overextending a little bit. But the only game they lost in their last set was a stomp. And then they were just so much in control for some of the other games. Penta, 4-0. Not only is 2-1 my favorite scoreline to watch because it kind of dictates the rest of the set. Real quick. But this, I mean, NIP, they need to find some footing here. Somebody in that booth needs to get emotions under check. It's not a very hyper-emotional team, but Bird, whoever it is, needs to get things together. They're going to go with Torvald first here again. don't see Pip super often on Serpent Beach. I guess it could still be a thing, but setting themselves up well.
You do from Penta.
That's
is
true.
the big thing. But the most noticeable thing, Con Bomb King. Makoa Atlas was the second game. Con Bomb King, Con Mave. NIP are scared of Simslu. NIP recognize what he can do.
I'm not even playing the game.
But you're targeting certain champions of his, right? He's got enough. Well, Eevee being taken away might limit him a little more, especially with Maeve off the board. So you're going to have to flex around there. Erase is just as scary on this Leon. That Ash Leon is every time we've given you Torvald, you've gone Torvald Ash. We're going to take this away from you to make you feel a little more hurt on it. And then we're going to try to scoop away some things that'll make that Eevee maybe too strong. And they leave a flex pick open for Simsy.
You know, the driver's seat right now, seemingly against all odds, is occupied by Penta. I mean, up one map, you're dictating where this set goes. You need 2 more. NIP, they have to bring the game to Penta. Penta can continue playing the way they were. Don't really need to make halftime adjustments in the same way that NIP do. I think getting the Eevee away as well as banning out the Maeve is smart. The flex pick, Simsaloo has shown that it's comfortable. We haven't seen too much Drogos out of him. That's normally where I would go, depending on the player.
And are unwanted,
I guess Bomb King technically viable here on this map. And Nara Cassie taking away a couple picks. Not that it mattered, because Penta could have gotten those 2 if they wanted, but they elected to go Ashley on Barrack, Genos, and this is the pick that I keep my eyes on.
Pip?
Could be.
Potentially. There's a lot.
Pip?
It's just you're looking for someone with mobility. And this is going to sound, I think, as out there as possible. When it comes down to flanks with mobility, you think Maeve, you think Eevee. We have seen Buck come out on this. I am standing on a very, very thin branch. I doubt it's going to happen. It is going to be the Pip.
Okay.
And I like that way more than anything else that I could have said out of my mouth prior to that.
Well, they traded out the Torvald last time and got the Pip Leon. They, again, get the Pip Leon on the side of Penta. I guess NIP are now looking at themselves and saying, you know, the map is different, but we just played poorly last game. We're going to draft similarly. We like Torvald on our side enough that we think if we just play better, that 4-0 doesn't go the way it does. But right now, Penta in control, 2-1. Looking to make it 3-1 is Penta. Looking to make it 2-2, of course, is NIP. Let's send it down to Evan and Nick to get this one started.
Dave testing himself with those numbers again. Yeah. He threw a lot of them out there.
Playing with fire.
Playing with fire like we have been with this cast. It's been a little hot in here. Penta, NIP, definitely heating things up.
Yeah, man. This is, I think, a slightly better draft for NIP as well. Yeah. It's been a really close race. Honestly, in the draft, both these teams are playing lights out, so it really matters what they bring to play with. Serpent Beach, the high ground is probably more important here than anywhere else. I'm looking for NIP to kind of do here to Penta what they were able to do to SSG in the semifinals, which is bully them off their high ground. And, you know, it's not a victor, but Leon still wants to get to that nest. She still wants to just kind of tee off on people. And I actually don't know if they're going to be able to do it as easily as they did in that SSG set. Torvald is not a space maker like Diggy Dog's Khan was.
It's truly not. And I think at this point, you can't have Diggy Dog and Bonker go 0-8 and have this NIP team exist the way they were. They are so crucial. And definitely the damage that they do, the space they create, and the finishing blows they get, it's something you will never see NIP succeed without in this iteration of the roster.
They're doing it. Bonker's just going to walk it down, make that space, bully him off the high ground, then rotate to point. Rinse, repeat in terms of strategy for NIP. But early 36% grab for Penta, no first blood. And look at this. This is great mid-air accuracy.
How many? 3 people does he have to pressure out? I mean, what do you think? He's doing so well, but at this point, he kind of got stuck a little bit. Try to get the high ground. He got close. 2 seconds left. That would have been the first blood. And it is first blood, excuse me. Alex doing a great job of shutting down Pip before he can get that heal.
Yeah, phenomenal shots there. That's 3 in a row, mid-air, and Pip's jumping too. Same story. Simslow's crushing some great ones. Alex is crushing some great ones. That's what it's going to take to win the grand finals of the MSI. It's going to take greatness.
And it's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of patience as well, because this is not a done set. You win round 3, and that works out for you, but doesn't mean that they're not going to come back swinging, and NIP certainly have thus far. 99% and counting. Bonker on the point comfortably, getting healed up by Bird. Pip was doing a great job in Simsaloo's hands by just holding down this right channel. Ice block! Oh, and the burst damage! He might not have expected it, but it was enough to clean up Alex. Is that the difference?
It's all these little things. Moxie, your light affects your lifesteal, affects your healing potion. Tenor needs to make this play here.
Big
He gets
play.
a raise. Nice job pushing him off. NIP even things up 99-90, Evan. Next kill wins.
What an incredible play on so many different levels. Seismic crash went up there from Bonker, stunned them out. Tenor gets so many good bubbles from Diggy Dog that he's able to do it and win these crucial trades, and the nullify as well from Bonker to shut down any more movement. Excuse me, from Diggy Dog to shut down any more movement. NIP played a wonderful round.
It's absolutely something that has to be talked about at this point. And you're right to get confused because it was Bonker on Brightmarsh. Now it's Diggy Dog. People, depending on the way the whole draft goes, different guys have to play different stuff in the same pool.
Yeah.
This Torvald has been a cut above. The bubbles are on the right people at the right time. Coordinating that window is everything to that combination. When you see Torvald plus something and you see it fall flat, most of the time, that's going to be why. The bubbles have got to be, pixel perfect.
Yeah, and you know what? They're having a great kind of go at moving and knowing exactly where they need to be in order to apply pressure on NIP. It was just a little bit of a dice game, a dice roll, so to speak, because Alex or Simsy could have won that first battle. Simsy wins the second, but really the first battle is what gives Inara the pressure on point and the ability for NIP to have that big lead and make that move at the end. Minute 30 now as they continue to push. Not quite able to get halfway, but close, as Bolka has his through time and space ready on the support.
Alex is flanking. He's going to be responsible for taking control of this high ground, or at least distract everyone to the point where they can't abuse it, right? If Simsy's allowed to just blast this Inara from the top rope, it's not going to be a good recipe. Look at that. Because of Alex's cover, Inara manages to reconvene with the rest of the team.
3-man assert dominance, by the way. It's going to set up at least 2 kills, and it's looking like it's going to set up 3. Wonderful stuff from Crunchy down below. Even though he dies there, traded out with Alex, who does narrowly make it. You can tell that although Alex wanted to apply pressure, very much like we saw earlier in an Inflame, where Bird was facing off against SSG, they kind of all go for the Inflame, and then they all die. That actually, Ice Storm from Alex created a lot of pressure for Penta.
Since we're falling back, this guy's got his turret set up, 3 months in advance. The investments are planned out. Alex, though, he's coming to crash the market, deleting 2 people off the face of the planet from Penta. And he's doing it all on his own. He's really not getting any tour of pocket right now, which is what is so electric about it almost reminds me of Ninu, what he's been able to do without the full attention of the rest of his team.
But when he gets it, boy, that hurts, doesn't it? Hyper Beam
Nice
here, it's a nice
beam.
push. It's a resource that you got to use for that. I mean, you got to be happy that gets that.
Totally.
So at this point, NIP feeling much better about themselves. It's a solid round. It's a hard-fought but well-earned round of success. 2-0, and Penta will have to try to swing back there.
Quick scan of my brain. I mean, I can't think of
huge.
a worse map for Hyper Beam on the objective. So that is so much value for Diggy Dog to get something from Hyper Beam here on Serpent Beach, then to get a payload push converted because of it.
Brightmarsh, maybe?
Forget about it. I mean, but even with Brightmarsh, there's like lethality. So you could blow somebody off the stairs, off the docks. At the end of the payload push, you could blow somebody into the swamp.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, it's a great performance. Diggy Dog 0-1-5. He's playing support this time, which is something that scares me because he's such a big part of this NIP success and making space and just they're doing well. That's, for him to take his hands off the wheel and just kind of be bubble boy for a game, it's a tough decision.
Yeah, and it's something that he's gladly wanting to do in order to support his team winning. That's what he's here for. That's what he made the change for. All the sacrifices for Diggy Dog are about getting that eventual W. This cubby is used so much by teams at this level, and you always wonder, when is it going to get abused? They're just standing right there. I know the angle's rough, but when is it going to happen? Enlightenment can't get used. Another perfect nullify from Diggy Dog, but Penta on the point.
Yeah, that's a result of, I think, Simsilo and probably Excentra winning that fight with Alex, getting blown up. Now, it's all about map control. Tenor, whatever high ground he wants to stand on, he gets
Oh,
to.
wow.
He's like the spoiled little princess right now. He gets to go wherever he wants, and nobody can say anything about it.
A little bit of a bait there and switch. Dome shield on Excentra. You thought maybe he would just die, maybe he'd leave it. And still fighting in that cubby. I like how he's forced them out of it. Crunchy finds a big kill on a Tenor, and he has been phenomenal for them. Nice little heal from Moxie. It might help the trade. Excentra's helping there as well. This is a very low NIP team. It's going to take a dive to finish him off. Never mind.
Mechanic. Oh my goodness, Penta just take it away. And, it doesn't work out for him. Before that last post-game interview in the semifinals with NIP, we talked to Bonker kind of shaking his head saying, Tenor always just tries to Evil Mojo these Inaras. Simslow just did the same thing to Bonker. Bonker's the one who's telling us, man, like, you can't do this. You can't pull that on me. You can't get that off.
Oh, man.
Does a great job CC muting it. These players are too fast. That interaction has changed long enough ago that it's almost expected.
But you know what, though, Nick? It's like, it is on the onus of the offensive player, because Inara's going to use that earthen guard for a lot of other reasons than the Evil Mojo. So if you can find her in the right rhythm, it's just the way they play so often as Arrays cleans up Bonker earlier before the through time and space misses. A lot of things are very predictable at high-level play. It's very much this like chess game where you kind of know what he's trying to do, and you're not really caught off guard, but maybe a couple shots hit more than yours do. Diggy Dog's in trouble.
He sure is. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to hide. Taken off the high ground, plucked from Serpent Beach. Arrays now backed by Ash is in a good spot to take control of the high ground.
Oh, and look at this. Bonker holding down. I mean, that's good, but Bonker's essentially dead.
The grip,
Except for stalling out the point, he's essentially dead. And the wall is down. Now the earthen guard is down. This is a perfect time to use resources against him. And it looks like they're going to do it. They get a bubble. Can it buy enough time before the next big cooldown?
Does he get the wall up in time? The Void Grip lifts him above it. He drops his own wall, now surging forward with newfound confidence. The sustain just came up, and that is the strength of Inara's base kit.
This is the window, though, and now healing needs to go to Diggy, and so that's really good because they can at least buy a little bit of time. Bonker back with all the cooldowns. Diggy doing really well. Alex in trouble. 600 is about 30% of EV's health, so he's got to back off, play a little more cautiously. Crunchy creating good space here, but he dies. And 35 seconds left, they're going to have to back off.
Oh, they went all in for it. I like the moves from Penta, but this is just what it looks like when a gamble doesn't pay off. They spend resources, don't get this payload pushed through. NIP used nothing on the defense. 20 seconds on the clock allows for some potential touch time, especially with Crunchy back on his horse.
Totally.
We'll see an overtime here, but it's going to be a pretty exhausted Penta team. You can see sitting about 60%. On the assert dominance,
Watch out.
Space, 28 on the dome shield. Not a lot to work with.
I mean, this looks like a fight that's not going to go your way, but he's at least buying a lot of time, and eventually they will have to look at this payload here. Good shots from Excentro. That is creating a lot of pressure onto Diggy Dog. Nice use of the explosive flask with the wide AoE of the projectile. Does Crunchy want to gamble anything? He doesn't really have it. 90% only, and he's already dead, so that's not going to happen. It's most likely going to be 3-1. And it will. NIP going into the next round. Chance to tie it up.
I mean, you just look at that scene. That's an impossible task. You've got Diggy and Bird tucked in the back corner. You've got Bonker in the nook by the stairs. Alex is above you. Tenor's in the back corner by your long scenic route stairs. It's like there's just literally no way you get that done. That's why map control, high ground control, all that stuff, wicked important on Serpent Beach.
Getting every form of healing possible in support. I mean, getting Torvald bubbles, getting Bird healing. Everything is coming through for Tenor, and that's just the way they play. A lot of times they'll just say, honestly, like, I'm not expecting a heal. I know Tenor's getting it. He's our carry. That's what Bird focuses on, and obviously you make a judgment call, but a lot of times the default is give Tenor as much life as possible and as much leeway to be the great player that he is. And it's been working thus far. 3-5, 3-1, 9-5 on the Cassie. Good shots from Erase, though, and now Crunchy's in a decent spot. He has his ult as well. Nullify, okay, so he's gonna get up again through time and space. Oh, big stun. He gets Diggy. If they get him here, that's big.
Tenor's already dead. This is just a different approach to the round. Arrays finds Alex. Normally you see NIP go to the high ground, bully out Penta, and then go from there, but it's just a complete flip-flop in strategy. And that's NIP. I mean, they don't get to decide what NIP do and don't bully them away from.
Right.
That is Penta responding to what they saw quickly and taking advantage.
And another comeback mechanic fight, and you look at these next 2 rounds, Array's got to stay alive here. That's important for this squad. But look at these comeback mechanic rounds, and we don't often talk about it, at least in this tournament, but it's credits. That starts to matter here in these contested fights. Whether you get your cauterizes, your wreckers, your evil mojos can have the same potential. Enlightenment! Savage for Arrays. Is he going to stay alive? Almost. Bird gets the trade. But what does that say about this situation that Bird had to clean it up? Not very good for NIP. Penta, they're going to grab point 2.
I mean, I love it. They're fist bumping after every point, after every good round, every good moment. They take a second just to keep it going and keep the good vibes flowing. Penta, again, we had this conversation on Bazaar. That was an uphill battle. They did not have really a lot of resources to play with at the onset of that fight. They got them later, but NIP had everything in the kitchen sink to throw at Penta, and they could not get it.
Bonker trying to just jump up and get some healing from Bird, but the strategy is becoming a little obvious there. You know, hiding in the wall, it's really giving them some great freedom to just maneuver, knowing that, okay, well, we know what he's doing. He's not really that much of a threat, but it's still distracting, and it's still something you want to deal with, and it is thus buying time for Tenor and Diggy Dog. So all working in the grand scheme of the Machiavellian plan of NIP. A minute and 40 now on the defense as they start to push out, but Tenor goes down.
That's the Torvald bubbles there. The bonus damage is there. You saw Tenor moving with confidence, but it was misplaced confidence. It just did not pan out. Enlightenment debated out. Diggy is going to get that life, too. Well done.
Yeah.
Dilly kind of salvaging that situation into something.
Really big value. They're going to get the Inara here, but Alex is forced out, and Tenor doesn't have a target to shoot at. No frontline pressure. Gruncy trying to prod and see if he can get a little bit of splash damage. Even 35, he'll take anything. Just keep him out of combat so the healing doesn't transfer. And here's what they didn't have last time, ultimates. They did not have this suite of ultimates last time to aggress onto the high ground, to force them into bad spots, to get them defensive. And the question is, do you use them, Nick?
Well, I actually want to look at items again, the resilience conversation. When you're dealing with Evil Mojo, assert dominance, things like that, you know, the amount of time you have people CC'd is important to set up time and space. The duel goes the way of NIP. The high ground remains in their control.
Guess who got that kill too is Bonker. I mean, he's helping out. But continuing back to what you were saying, you're right, resilience starting to show up, pan out, blast shields as well. We don't often talk about it, but in the case of Bird, who's going to be getting most likely some damage reduction while healing, he may be adjusting a little bit of the loadout from Aldama, but a lot of times you'll have a little bit of possession in there while healing, and you also have Blast Haven now, so that's 14% on top of what could be around 14, 20 coming through from the loadout, so he's tanky.
It's effective.
A little harder to kill.
Definitely. Pip is blast damage. Leon's Enlightenment and Presence is also classified as blast damage because it's a single instance that can hit multiple targets. So value pickup by Bird. He knows what he's doing at this point. He's done nothing but support his whole life. Tenor, first kill of the overtime.
Look at this, man. This is not looking good here. Nice Void Grip as well. It sets it up easy for a raise. I think this is a push. This is easily a ball in their court. Everyone's low. You can't do anything.
They really just said we're not going to pop ultimates here.
You don't need it.
Penta are getting there, down and into his last ice block. Alex does not have the time. What a high efficiency offense. Penta, the real deal.
And you know, they really hope they didn't have to use resources to do it, and they didn't.
That's an experienced call.
Yeah. It was so good about it. What I liked is the Void Grip, and what I've liked about Erase is his confidence. Being able to go in these high-pressure moments and say, yeah, I'm going to dive in. I'm going to full commit. I'm full sending to be able to get this result. Cruncy, this is a great moment here because they're able to finish off some really important kills. And it came on top of a round prior, or a moment prior, where he had the Nullify kind of shut down his ult, but was ready to jump right afterwards and got a crucial stun there to set it up.
Good target swap as well. Diggy was able to get the bubble off on the Tenor right before he got polymorphed, so that's why you saw the little bubble chicken running around. But Diggy Dog, unfortunately, was not able to keep himself safe. Nice little target swap from Erase. He gets both kills. Caught 3. Was that Wrecker 3 as well?
Yes. He's got Wrecker 3 and Caught 3 and a little resilience. This man is balling. You know, invite me to the super yacht when you get a chance, brother. I'm ready to roll. I will have all of the amenities, if you please. Simsaloo trying to find himself a little bit of damage here on the fight. He's going to find Bonker very easy to kill. Except for that Earthen Guard and that wall. That's part of the trick. It makes you think she's dead, but not quite.
Such a great bubble from Diggy Dog to give Alex the burst damage he needed to kill Simsaloo before Simsaloo could kill Bonker. So Bonker could, you know what I mean?
Yep.
This is a domino effect. This is NIP. They play as a team. They win as a team. They lose as a team. But right now, I think they are primed to cop themselves a dub and even up the set.
This is a mind game here. It's a little bit of chess. We know they can get back because 51% already. They don't have to rush point. Good shield to block some big game and force Spitner off the point. Hyper Beam is here to blow them away, but the Evil Mojo misses. Does that give them the room they need to take this game and tie it up?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. That really takes the wind out of your sails.
Watch out,
They find
though.
the first frag, the second, the third. Everything is going Penta's way.
Are you kidding me? It's 78%. They've got the point, Nick. I think that's it. I think they're going to go 3-1 up. I don't see how they can get back on. It's just Alex. The Ice Storm is nothing. It is Penta in a 3-1 position against NIP in the finals of MSI.
Oh my goodness gracious. One more game and the boys from the minor league will have done it. This is nutty. Even with the consideration that Evo Mojo completely whiffs, it's like they're just winning. Penta are winning. Advantages, no advantages. It just doesn't matter the situation. You can't take anything away from them. There's no flukes. Nothing is happening to help these guys. If anything, the universe looks like it might be a little against them the way some of these 50-50s are splitting.
It's a tough stance, man. You know,
Tanner's just like, not
it's
again,
a tough
man.
stance to take.
Not
Because
again, man.
the first thing they were talking about, and this is no disrespect, we all love these guys, but the first thing they were talking about is how I want a 4-0 and I'm going to go do my laundry. You know, that's tough to say that and then be 3-1 game point for
How many
Penta.
times does a European undefeated team have to sleep on their opponents before they
learn?
learn?
Just don't sleep.
I
Y'all are so
mean,
good.
Just give it the Phoenix, politically correct, adjust your tie, sit down, and
Well,
handle
they're going to
business.
give a great effort, and we're going to be really looking out for them. I don't know what it is. Obviously, words don't determine how you play, but you got to say mentally there's a lot going on with NIP. They are on the brink of defeat to our minor league stars here in Penta.
I still think you got to throw an asterisk on the word minor league. I mean, technically, yes, but they are playing like the best in the world right now. 3-1 over the best in the PPL. Gore, they are one game away from winning the MSI.
Navi beat NIP at one point. NIP have beat Navi. You know, those two are trading off the title right now as of who could be strongest. Envy was trying to throw their hat in there. Envy are gone. Navi are gone. Nip's one game away from gone. Penta might actually be able to seal the deal here. And it's just, it's one of those things, I mean, you're running out of maps if you're an IP that you feel confident on.
I mean, I always look first at the losing team stats just to see how some of those guys hung in there, and they did. Bonker, Alex, Bittner, they all did more damage than their counterpart on the opposite side. Across the board. And Erase time and time again. I don't think I can talk this guy enough. Bonker did less damage than Excentra this time around, but I feel like I can't talk up Erase enough. 12, 11, 10 goes Simsalou. And even in these bad games where you know, the spotlight tends to be on Simsalou a lot in these situations because he's carried a lot of games for this team, but I feel like Erase has been one of the most consistent players throughout this tournament. 17, 8, and 17. Even when Simsalou falls a little short. Not saying that he played bad this game, but Erase, I feel like, is consistently exceeding my own expectations.
I mean, look at the games. I think at the end of the last set, Simsy was, 5 and 10 in that last game? Erase, and I will also throw out Excentra in this hat, have been playing out of their minds. Erase has been so, like you said, consistent. He has been phenomenal from day 1 to day 4. Every single game they've played, his name has been worth mentioning. And Excentra's, he's a sub. What is he doing? Like he's playing out of his mind in these sets. Again, if you are a team, you're in the Premier League and you're looking at this right now, this is 5 guys who have proven on LAN they are monsters.
It's always that, in scrims you can take a game, blah, 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 blah. But now you're here at LAN. These are PPL teams that do it every single week. Their games are all on LAN. And Penta, they're always playing online. They're scrimming on ping. They're playing their games, whatever it may be. I mean, they're European counterparts. They're on the same server. But now one game away from out-LANning a team that has had trouble in the past at LAN. Bittner, I'm sure, is feeling a little bit of pressure right now. He's cursed almost, I would say.
The last time I remember seeing Bittner fully win through a tournament. Yeah. He was on a team with Simsalou, so maybe one of them took all the good luck from that. And I mean, that is the emotions are different. I don't think we've ever seen an IP like this downtrodden in a set before. And I mean, it is what it is, I mean, as Nick said, Diggy, this is going to be one of his first finals. Alex, one of his first finals. Bird and Bonker are trying to get back to that position after a while of not being there. And for Bittner, it's just finally sealing the deal. I mean, how many times can you make it to this huge stage and be put in this position and not win it. I mean, it happened in Vegas. It happened against Na'Vi, and it's almost always been pretty convincing wins for the team that's able to topple them.
I mean, Penta has been stoic. Obviously, you see a little emotion out of them there, where they're feeling good. They're excited. But after coming out of that game against Virtus Pro, I mean, granted, their final match went 7. I mean, you're up against the wire, but they had some wiggle room there.
Yeah.
And you could still tell how, like, I don't know, the adrenaline was still going. I imagine they're feeling much the same in this moment. 4-1 goes the way of NIP. 3 straight the way of Penta. And you got to be, not only do you lose, not only do you need to win 3 straight now if you're NIP, you're up 3 points on Serpent Beach and allow Penta back into the game to win. You were a point away from tying that up, and Penta win 3-4 straight points, and they take the win from you. One more crowns them as champions.
And I'm going to play the long con with this one, because we can look at the picks and bans here now. But the biggest thing for me is you need 3 more maps if you are NIP. You need this one, the next one, and 1 more right after that. The problem is if you win, you immediately go to loser's pick. That gives Penta a map pick.
Yeah.
Warder's Gate is a map that NIP have banned in the past, and a map that Penta has proven to be good on.
Yeah.
And it's one that NIP will be shaky. If they win this one, they might still seal their own fate because they give that map choice over to Penta. So, like, long con, Penta might just do this no matter what.
That's a big if. That's a big if. They need to do it now if you're NIP. They ban out Kinessa. Penta, okay with that. They're going to pick away the Strix. So only 1 sniper will be in play here on Frog Isle. First Frog Isle I think we've seen this tournament. If I'm trying to think back, I could be wrong. Maybe first or second. Either way, we're in single digits for sure on the Frog Isle. It's not been a super common pick, banned out frequently. But this is going to be it for Penta. I mean, you win this one, you take home the trophy, you prove you not only belong in the PPL, but you're maybe one of the best in the world. This is a big proving ground for these players. Genos going to pair with that Strix. Those Genos headshots, you plug an Eevee, you might kill her. At least you're going to be down to 1 little health nugget left.
I mean, headshot, Strix, 1,800 damage. Eevee, health bar, 1,800. It's the perfect number. This one's setting you up body shots in that area where you could potentially maybe 1 tap with the rifle, quick flip to the pistol, 1 tap with the pistol. She's gone. The biggest, I think, question mark I have is going to be what do they get that can kind of help either keep him safe but also still be aggressive.
Sure.
Well, I don't say this often. Pip's been looking really good, though. I can't see much of a reason for Simsy to really dive away from it.
I mean, right now, unless you win some of those quick snapshot duels as the Strix on the Eevee, there's too much dive. It's going to be the Mei for a little bit of reverse dive. So you have Eevee, Tyra for NIP, going to try to mitigate the Strix Mave on the opposite side. Khan controlling, Ash Barrick controlling. Good drafts from both teams. Penta, 1 more win to be crowned your champions. Do they do it here?
I think so. I actually think they have what it takes right here, right now. I think Strix, Genos, the Khan control, the Inara control, like, NIP are going to be playing out of their minds. I think this is going to be some of the best Eevee play we've gotten to see, because when it's do or die, these guys will dial it up to 11.
It's not common you see NIP down 3-1 in a set. They've only lost twice. One of them was a 4-0. They throw an asterisk on it, but at the end of the day, it was a 4-0 at the hands of Na'Vi, who Penta 3-0'd early this week. They're 1 win away. Cannot say it enough. 1 more win for Penta crowns them your MSI champions. Does it happen here? Evan, Nick, take it away.
Well, only time will tell. Or maybe the map and how they play. Maybe it's the sniper who's on only one side, which is rare to see a team give up that type of advantage and say go or go home. Well, that's what they're doing here. They're either going to stop them or they're going to lose.
Man, this is, again, solid drafting and fearless drafting. They're taking NIP stuff and running it back at them. We know how much Tenor loves the Strix. We know how effective he can be on it. This is, and we'll pull up the loadout here just to see what he's rocking with, but this is big do or die territory. This is Arrays. You solidify, I think, your MVP. If you can,
I believe so.
If you can steal this, look Tenor in the eye, take his Strix, and beat him with it.
I believe so. And that's a really good flare as well. He's not going to get the vision. Bonker's kind of not out to dry because he's got the reset. And one of the crucial things that I've seen even Kresnik talk about is don't really go too hard for the reset, because that's giving him that extra mobility. Sometimes you're better off just keeping him where he is, looking at other targets, knowing he's in a bad spot, can't do much, and then going for it once you know he can't retreat. Already things are working out. What we've seen with these types of situations, it is very hard to overcome momentum, and that's exactly what they've got to make it 3. And Simsy gets a double there as Penta pushed them all back.
I mean, I was in more disbelief when they were doing it against Navi, but this is the finals. I'm starting to get that similar, just like, I can't believe it feeling in my stomach.
Well, everyone's underperforming.
Penta are just winning today. And the thing is there is no excuses. We've already watched NIP play a set today. They looked disgusting in that semifinal set. They handled SSG.
This is just cold, hard facts, baby. And it's summertime, and people are familiar with cold, hard ones, but not this level of maybe ice cold. It's got to be chilling to take to know that a team in the minor league all season has been capable of something like this. And they're proving it right now on the biggest stage Paladins has had in 2019, essentially.
This is a minor league team with a sub, dude.
Oh, God.
With a sub.
Stop saying it, Nick. It makes it sound crazy. But it's not over.
Wild,
and
dude.
Diggy Dog and the rest know. I mean, they've got to bounce back. They're 3-1. It's not impossible. And Diggy's starting to get a little rhythm here. They're starting to find that zone. They've got good matchups everywhere. The only problem is really when they have to, traverse that open space of Frog Isle. They've given up the sniper. It's not an easy way to get to him, and he's playing lights out. He's an MVP level kind of performance over this set.
And this is actually something that happens to snipers. Snipers are good from here to the point, and then the home stretch.
Right.
In the middle, they kind of struggle. There's not a lot of great places for them to sit and have lines of sight and things like that. So they got to do it for Arrays. He needs to get to his second spot to actually start being effective in this round.
Crunchy here in a good spot. He could go for the overpower. I mean, there's plenty of time to charge it back up. Maybe they just want to get some kills. One of the things you could almost guarantee would be getting back to that payload if you used it. But you never know. Is it going to be worth it? I think he's just betting that let's try to do it the old-fashioned way. Hunter's Mark goes on to him, and Arrays will clean up Tenor. Bonker, though, very healthy. And getting himself back towards a little bit more safety. It's 45 seconds now on the clock for round 1.
Mixing it up down in the
Ooh,
ditch.
that's big.
It is going to be big. That's the setup. That's the handoff and the pitch. Simsilo needs to clean up on these big shots from the Talon rifle. Void Grip, such an effective CC right now, not later, but it's going to be paying big dividends, making these shots even easier for Arrays.
I mean, get out of here, right? Crunchy with a double kill. That's just the easiest ththing he's ever seen. A Tyro, like half health, not looking at him. Khan runs up to that like, oh, baby, I got 3 different ways to do what I need to do here. And, the Void Grip, the Commander's Grab, whether you look at overpowers on a really easy stationary targets, are just most likely using the heavy repeater, the storm of bullets being the talent chosen for him. It's overtime now, taking away. Penta have a long way to go, Nick.
I wonder if they just go for it. I wonder if they just start popping ults, because if they get this conversion, they are literally a round away from crowning themselves MSI champions, defeating all the PPL teams along their way with a damn substitute player.
And Nick, that would be too much anime juice. That'd be too much hype. Even you might become a weeb after a play like that. I've heard say.
There's potential. There's potential.
You may guarantee to watch an anime.
I will watch an anime.
Okay.
Front to back. You guys pick it. Chat, vote on the anime. I'll watch one. If Penta win this set, crown themselves the MSI champions.
Yes.
I'll watch an anime.
He will become a weeb.
I have to.
He will. And we'll get him once we get
Times they are a-changing.
Times they are a-changing. And boy, oh boy, Penta are the ones who are doing the changing here. And by that way, you're right. A minor league team who have a sub. It's something you would never assume could even get past the play-in bracket, but they certainly did. Never assumed they get past the world champions. And previously, the same roster who's done it all the way, but they did. You'd say you got to have some PPL players. I mean, maybe they've all played, just a few. And now you're saying, well, NIP surely won't lose to these guys. They've only lost twice in like 6 months.
It's wild.
But they're about to.
We are 1 round away from a minor league team with a sub. They have all their ultimates available as well. That doubt was planted on Bazaar. It started to manifest itself in games 3, and now it is a full-fledged beast that needs to be dealt with. Simsilo finds the opening frag.
That is dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Crunchy forces the ice block. He's getting healed up as well, though, but Simsy finds a couple. He finds another. Oh, and Bolka cleans it up. NIP are all dead. They're all gone. Penta, it's their game to lose. They've just got a zone here. Dismounts aplenty. They've got all unlimited ammo. Essentially, Simsalou can never stop firing with the lack of reloads. A wall to shut off one area, and it's 60% and counting.
And they still have overpower. If anybody makes it through, oh my God, there's just a chance that they'd get it done here. There's the grab on the Eevee. They grab Alex. Bonker's dead, 96%. Penta are going to get this payload. They are going to prime themselves to be champions.
Oh my goodness, Nick. The anime story arc could not be greater. But let's not even bring anime into it because it seems like you'll be watching One Punch Man. Let's talk more about.
Doesn't that have like a million episodes?
No,
dude?
It's only like 20 or something
Come
like that.
on,
You'll be
bruh.
fine. 2 seasons,
Don't
you'll
do
be
me like
fine.
that, chat.
This is about Penta doing
chat.
something unheard of, believing in themselves, getting down but not out, and not just finishing close. Finishing on top.
No.
It is inevitable, Nick. I don't see it. I feel like this is just written in the stars at this point.
Oh, and now NIP. They're not going to go out without a fight. Crossfire's hit. Tenor does not want to go home. He's gotten to the finish line so many times before. Right. Tenor's had so many undefeated seasons.
You're right.
He needs to finish this one. He's crouched in the bushes, recentering himself. It ain't over till it's over. The Cavs came back from 3-1.
They did.
I believe Tenor can too.
Have they come back from 3-0 and 3-1? That's the question. They at least had a lead in that last game, right? They at least did okay. There's nothing to the advantage of NIP here, but listen, crazier things have certainly happened, but a kill here would be very, very bad. Diggy Dog goes down. Could this be the beginning of the end?
Tenor's dead.
He'll fall as well. Battle Shout keeping him alive. The turret will do some damage thanks to Alex, but there's a lot of work to be done for NIP.
There it is. Another kill comes through. Only one answered. 3 for 1. Bird, he's in the trenches as well. He goes down. Bonkers Void Grip up.
No.
Rocket boots around. Respawns are coming through for NIP. This is not the final team fight. There's plenty of time for Penta to get their ultimates charged, beat him again, and win the damn thing.
You know, Nick, it's exciting, but we can't get too excited because it doesn't feel
It's too
real
late.
until that 4th point goes through, right? We can't believe it until it actually happens, and I know everyone is waiting with bated breath here. 30 seconds left just about on the clock. And a through time and space from Bolka. That could seal the deal if he finds the right opportunity. That payload is 90%, and the only one holding it is the Barrack right in front of Accentra.
This is it. Backs against the wall. Tenor's perfect season on the line. 1-for-1 exchange to start it off.
Oh no, Commander's Grab could be ready. They're choosing the priority targets, and it looks like he's switching between both, but the damage is real. It's true, and it's looking like the heavy repeater might just repeat what's been happening all game, which is finding big kills and putting Penta in a great spot to win, Nick. This could be it.
Bird is dead. Tenor goes down. There's one man standing. It's Alex into the ice
Are
block.
you kidding me? He's going to go down. Penta! They're going to win the MSI over NIP. What are we watching? Paladins has never been more exciting, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if it ever will be.
A minor league team with a sub.
Oh my God.
Make their way undefeated through the play-in bracket up against Na'Vi. 5 rings on that team. They crush them 3-0. Oh my goodness, and it doesn't stop there. They continue the campaign of dominance all the way home. A crushing 4-1 defeat for NIP.
Holy moly, Nick. What can you say about this journey, about
Could you
NIP?
ask for a better ending?
I couldn't have. I really couldn't have. It's been phenomenal to watch these guys and the way that Simsy and these boys have battled back through the attrition of having been doubted, having found their own routes in Paladins. It's not been easy. They haven't been a rostered team. They've had to do this from like home, from their garage, traveling. There's no money behind this.
Oh,
Tenor can't believe it.
I hate it for him.
He can't believe it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's also.
I have to watch anime now, dude.
I know.
What
He's
do you
gonna do
mean?
it. It's one of my parting gifts, Nick. For those in the scene, I haven't announced this yet, but I'm taking this moment here. This will be my last cast for High Res Studios as an employee. I'll be moving back to Los Angeles. It's been a journey. It's one I won't forget.
Absolutely, man.
Some great friends.
We built this house, baby. Brick by brick.
It's going to stand. It's going to keep standing, man. You guys are in great hands. I will be around, of course, in my own way, but I just won't be here. And we love all of you. I love all of you. And
we love
that's
you,
it.
buddy.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you so much for
Thank you.
everything.
Thanks for giving me a good final to finish.
Yeah,
Huh?
I mean, I had nothing to do with it.
Woo!
I'm just here standing.
That's a bang.
I mean, you can't ask for a better one to go out. Thank you so much, Evan. You've given this community everything, your heart, your soul. I mean, so many casts, so many hours, console league, minor league, Premier League, so many lands, traveling around the world. You've been there start to finish, even before I was in Sweden, all the way up to the MSI. What a way to go out. Congratulations to Penta. Let's get it back to the desk and round up this one hell of a tournament.
I don't know how a guy is supposed to keep it together through that. We all love Rain Day. Appreciate him, everything he's done. Been a short while for me. I know you've been here for a good minute. Mentor, guy I look up to every single day. Good friend, better person. So, of course, all the best to him. I have a feeling we'll see him a little bit in the future, though. I'm sure he'll swing around here. But we'd be remiss if we took away from the streak of an MSI that was Penta. We talked about bracket luck. Nemesis, a little unfortunate bracket luck.
Yeah,
Hype unit,
they're feeling good now.
A little bit unfortunate bracket luck. Sour team, a little unfortunate bracket luck. Navi, that's a bit unfortunate. Virtus Pro, a little bit unfortunate as well. And I guess everyone who had to go up against Penta this weekend, unfortunate. The closest set they had, 4-1. And wow, what a way to round it out. 13-6 for Simpsy, 9-4, 9-4, 9-6. Unbelievable performance. It's almost a loss for words because just across the board, this team only slipped up one. I mean, the closest set they had was a 4-1. They had that a couple of times, but they rolled through not only the number 2 seed team in this tournament, but the number 1 seed team in this tournament, and it did end up proving to be the case. The only loss they suffered was that sweep of a 4-1 at the beginning of the set, and then they blew NIP out of the water the rest of the 4 games.
I mean, you want to look at it this way. By beating Virtus Pro, Penta beat Envy. By beating Na'Vi, well, they beat Na'Vi. By beating NIP, they beat SSG, and they beat Kanga. Like, it's just one of those things, like, as of right now, you could argue this team that has won this as a 4-0 on Frog Isle is better than every PTL team that we have coming from the minor league, has come through and done something. A lot of this was just gorgeous play from them. I mean, from top to bottom, Simsalou made a lot of plays here. There was a lot done by our Rays. There was a lot done on the front line. There were so many moments that just came together, and you could feel like the nerves high for them, but the momentum, and I think not even a pressure to perform, but just them recognizing, like, we can do this. We can close it out. Like, hands shaking, hearts beating, but they're still shooting, and they're still getting headshots.
And towards the end of that one, it's 3-1. You can feel almost. I mean, we're not interviewing him, but you can kind of see like the momentum's building up. You go up 2-0 on Frog Isle. You're starting to see it. They did not let off of the gas until that final payload went in, and it was on the back of some team fights that should not have been won. There were moments throughout this tournament, throughout this set, throughout this game, where it looks like NIP are going to win the whole thing, win the game, and they just pull it back time and time and time again. Penta proved the doubters wrong. They proved, hell, they're in the conversation for best in the world at this point, dropping 2 maps to the top 2 seeds total. Well, that's done for me talking. Let's send it down to them and see how they're feeling.
Gentlemen, you did it, man. The EU PML with the sub on the end, you got to say. I mean, can you hardly call it a sub? I mean, NIP, that core of that roster did with a sub at their first World Championship. You guys have a lot of experience sprinkled amongst you, but I don't know if anybody expected this. Sims, what are you guys feeling right now?
I'm very emotional right now, to be honest. It's really hard to hold it in right now. You feel me?
I bet you can't wait to get home to Ma and to celebrate with the rest of the family, guys. This is an incredible one. I mean, especially for you, Simsel. I know you've been through a lot in and out of the PPL. This is a squad that has absolutely proven themselves to be of Premier League caliber. My question for you is what's next for Penta? Would this squad want to go to the PPL? Obviously, would you guys split up? Would this team need to stay together? Is it all or nothing for Penta?
I wouldn't want to be separated from these guys. I wouldn't want to do anything without these fellas.
Yeah.
They gave me a second shot in the scene. They carried me today, and they helped me through a lot.
That's awesome, man. I mean, that's really what it is for you. I'm gonna get a chance to talk to everyone down the line. Cruncy, I mean, it's been a little bit of a up and down season for you as well, man. I mean, from suspended to now back in it. You were kicked from that team at the end of last year. Now you take them down in the finals of the MSI. What does this win mean to you, man?
It means a lot to me. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless.
You know, just starstruck here.
I expected to win today. I was expecting to lose like 4-1 maybe. Right. But
you know, we're gonna do our best, but and we're gonna give them a good show. We're gonna 4-0 and blah blah blah. But realistic expectations. Did you come in thinking you could do it today?
not really, to be honest. I don't know. I didn't expect to win an IP. I expected to win VP, but not an IP.
You know, to make it through these tough matchups, you need support. You need somebody there for you, healing you, avoid gripping people that are, you know, they wish you.
I don't know. I'm shaking from Quan Fiesta to 018 mouse to winning that. I don't know. I'm speechless.
An absolutely wild experience. I'm gonna get a chance to talk to everyone at Raise. Man, you stepped up. You played a lot of different stuff today. This Frog Isle game was big as well because you guys really felt like you went at NIP in these drafts. I'm going to take your Strix, Tenor. I'm going to beat you with it. You're going to get to the finals, but you're not getting past me. I'm going to beat you at your own game. What does this win mean for you, man?
I mean, it's just incredible. I don't know really what to say. Like, it's my first LAN for Paladins, and I just win it like from great team, and we like do it in a great fashion. It's just unbelievable, man. Like,
easy for a Raise, I guess. One and done. You could retire with the title, man. You'd be 100% LAN winning, man. Let's get a chance to talk to the man himself, the sub. You know, this has got to mean a lot to you as well, because what's it like to be the sub for a team that, you know, Ovum is a hell of a player. He's a hell of a point front line. He's really kind of been almost a defining player for that role. How is it coming in and trying to fill those shoes?
I mean, it was kind of hard. I didn't play for 8 months as well. And then, like, they contacted me, like, a month-ish ago. And we didn't get, like, a lot of scrims as well. Like, I tried my best. I know, like, Ovim is a great player, so I try to represent him, like do my best job as a point tank. And I think I did okay, you know.
I would say, I'd say you did pretty well as well. Again, the substitute player comes in. This squad, the EU PML is the real deal, man. I'm so happy for you. I think we got the trophy down there. Is that the MVP trophy? I think we do, man. Congratulations. Erase, we're gonna go ahead and give it to you, man. You played phenomenally. Well struck. First LAN ever. Substitute player, minor leaguein'. This is Penta Esports, guys. They are here to stay. They want to stay together, continue to dominate. The biggest of congratulations, probably the biggest Cinderella story Paladins has and likely will ever see. Congratulations to you all. This is a very special one. Let's get it back up to the desk and close out the day.
Well, I don't remember what item the carriage was in Cinderella, but it's not a pumpkin at the end of this one for Penta. And that's what's important. No clock, no midnight for them. They win the entire thing. Erase MVP of this tournament. I think, you know, you can make an argument for every single guy on that Penta roster, but you look at consistency, high score lines, high damage, big play potential, triple kill, double, whatever it may be. Erase had it all. A quick look back at the finals bracket. What a story it was.
And, I mean, at the end of the day, again, like you said, every single person on Penta, like, they played out of their minds from day one. If you're Nemesis right now, sitting in the loser, in the first bracket, I would say, up against Penta, you're feeling a little bit better about the way that set went as it came down. And hey, Bird gets his wish. He gets to go home. He gets to do his laundry, and it's perfect for him. It's just, you know, maybe not in the, like, he's gonna have to wipe some tears up in the process.
Yeah, no, I guess so. What a fun event it's been. It's been 4 days. Top to bottom, great competition. You looked at the storylines that were written day one. It's the big cross-play event. So much to look forward to. So much happened. It's been, honestly, just a genuine time.
Yeah.
Of course, it's the mid-season invitational, which means we are midway through the season. We have another split coming up. Make sure to stay tuned into @PaladinsPro on Twitter to keep up to date. We're aiming for late July, I believe. 25th is what we have marked in right now for the restart of the PPL split. But it's going to be a fun one. Lots of new storylines emerge out of this. We got a couple weeks before things really start to kick back off. I kind of have a sneaky feeling we might be seeing some of these Penta guys in the future.
I would love to be able to see what happens with them. Of course, there's a lot of things that are going to be going on behind the scenes. I mean, there's some open spots. I know at least one team that's going to be looking for players, but Simsy himself said he didn't want to do it with anyone else, so we're just going to have to see.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, everyone who tuned in over the past 4 days, thank you for sticking through it with us. Goodbye to Evan. It's been a beautiful time. Come on in here. I know you're behind the camera
closing.
there. We're closing the day. Close it out one final time.
You close it.
Final time.
He's closing.
Get the voice right. Yeah, ready for this? Get in. Get in here, guys. Get in the last shot.
Last shot.
You ready?
All
Come
the
here,
way
girl.
over
Come here, girl.
there.
Come here. Are you guys ready? You can do it with me. Never give up. Never stop gaming. And we'll see you all in the realm. Woo!
Gonna miss you, man.
Gonna miss you too, buddy.